Not been bad. Not been doing much, so decided to just stream. $20 of ketchup. A growing boy. I like how that became like the default for a lot of streams. Like remember when like you'd go to school and you get like the only water you get throughout the 8-hour day was just 5 seconds at the water fountain right after like you go outside for like gym or whatever. I'm not saying that water is like too prevalent now, but I feel like people have gotten like water crazy. I mean, I drink a lot of water. I drink like 8 bottles a day, something like that. Or the equivalent. But you were lucky to get 5 seconds at the water fountain. There's always a kid behind you going, hey. And it wasn't their fault. You know, there was only like, you only had like max like 3 minutes before the next class started. And there's a big line because they can't afford more than one working fountain. Drinking out the toilet? I get what you mean. Usually there's 2 outside the bathrooms. The ones at the outside of the bathroom though were the nasty ones. There's always that kid that would drink, like they would put the whole mouth around it, or what people would do is they'd get toilet paper and they'd stuff it in the thing so it would like launch out of the water fountain whenever someone tried to use it. Kids are a menace, man. That's fair. You know you've been drinking too long whenever the compressor turns on? Or like the fan inside, you can hear it turn on. You don't see water fountains like anywhere else. What happened to the humble water fountain? What's wrong with the world? No, it's just a water cooler. And paper cups. Hey, Karmic. Nice to see you. My tap water's not bad. My tap water as a kid was terrible, and so I wouldn't drink it. So that made it to where I drink a lot of bottled water just because that's what I'm used to. But my tap water's drinkable now. I'm doing alright. Just trying to fill the day. I figured I should stream. Because I was thinking about running scenic anyway. That's basically me. Yeah, once your tap water is found to have animal feces in it when you're a kid, you're very hesitant to drink the tap. To where you drink bottled for so long that drinking tap just tastes different. I've slowly been weaning myself off. Hello, nice to see you. Hope everyone's day or night is going well. I am a water for like drinking casually, but if I'm eating something, I have to have a diet soda. Is this breakcore? I don't know what that is. I thought this was like ambient. We drink tea over here, just not the tea that you're thinking. I have a sweet tea every once in a while. As a kid, I only drank soda. And eventually, I switched from soda to, like, sweet tea, but not like a really terrible for you sweet tea. It was like half the sugar of an actual soda. And then I switched to, like, diet tea. And then I switched to water. Yeah, I'm in Texas, so sweet tea is like once a month for me. Like, I'll get a sweet tea with, like, fast food, like, once a month. Otherwise, it's a Diet Coke. Also, people always look at me weird for getting a Diet Coke at, fast food places, and not, like, a Dr. Pepper or something. But it's the most consistent soda. It always tastes the same. Other sodas, they kind of just... It's a gamble if they taste good. I'm a sucker for chocolate milk. If I could have only one drink for the rest of my life, that would probably be my #1 pick. Strawberry's not bad. I just prefer chocolate. I used to watch it as a kid, but not very much. I've seen it. Later. Oh, clubbing? What time is it? Oh, it's only 4. I thought it was later. Over here I feel like kind of limited in what I can go out and get to eat. Like sit down restaurants. There's a lot, but at the same time it feels like there's nothing. Thank you for this information, Carmen. I think my number one like chain restaurant like sit down is probably Outback. They're not very great, but they are consistent and they're not expensive in comparison. Over here everyone likes steakhouses and stuff like that that are like 2 people, it's like $70 and I'm just like, man, give me a $10 burger and I'm chilling. Steaks destroy my jaw. I have TMJ, so if I try to eat a steak, my whole jaw hurts the next day. Is it like a white elephant type? That'd be terrible just because it's different sizes. Unless everyone's around the same size. No, I'm saying a white elephant to where it's like you could steal other people's. That's one way to make another. Yeah. Wait, is that how you're doing it? Good luck. You're basically gonna have to steal the right size. Classic. Don't worry, I gotcha. Logistics brained. No. Bloke is just... It's not even something that you'd say like ironically. Or even as a meme. It's literally never heard over here. My number one is man. Like, hey man. But it's very split over the US. If it's a close friend, for me, it's man. Yeah, Tirga's a big guy, kind of guy. I don't think we have a word like that. We just say their name. I know you're not too good. Maybe dude? But some people would say dude, like to another person in their face. Hope you're doing well, Tirga. Nice to see you. Yeah, we just don't put anything after that. Just who's that? Maybe sometimes who's that guy, if you want to be specific. Congratulations, Tirga. It doesn't. I've failed if I stop this grind. Great dishonor. But yeah, I've kind of gotten sick of most restaurants. I'd say if you don't bring it up, then you can kind of just figure it out on. It'll just wing it. It'll go well. Updates. Well, you just come back and you're like, well, I have something I cannot wear. I got the receipt though, I could trade it in. Yeah, today has not been a very exciting day myself. I fixed someone's computer like 2 days ago, and they fixed it up today, so I'm getting paid for that soon. That's kind of exciting. Meetings? Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Not care about the price. Look at this fat cat over here. It's always nice to find ways to celebrate holidays in different ways, though. It's a good idea to do something like that. holidays that normally you can't really spend with friends, you can spend with friends. The only thing I've done for Valentine's Day in the past 2 years is Apex had a Valentine's Day event. And I played it with my brother. We were smurfing on the couples. I'm pretty sure that was last year. We got like 5 wins that day. Basically, if you healed yourself, it would heal your friend. And so one person would just be fighting, and the other person would just be healing them. Like from behind a wall. It was perfect. Yeah, it would heal like the same amount too. It wasn't like half. And you had the gold shields, which would basically you can heal your entire shield in like, I don't know, like 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Or if just one person each did it, it was like you can heal your entire team in like 2 seconds. I wonder if they're going to do something this year. Although I haven't played Apex for a while. Ever since they added the $400 death box. I don't like being sold to. I honestly couldn't tell you. What's weird is like a lot of people around me love horror. But I don't really get scared. And so I'm kind of the person in horror movies that like is annoying. Like I'm the type that would just point out all the flaws in a horror movie, and so I'm the worst person to watch a horror movie with. Like that wouldn't have never happened in real life. Like I'm constantly trying to think of a joke to crack while watching horror movies. So I'm like quite possibly the worst possible person to watch one with. I just enjoy watching the killing. Yeah, I don't have big plans for Valentine's Day. Another day on the calendar. We chillin'. You get the discounts? The Valentine's Day discounts to say that you're together? Right. That's happening. Oh man, Chili's 2 for $20. I've only been to Chili's like once in my entire life. To me, it's like a restaurant that you only really see in shows and movies. Not the majority. Sounds like what you need to do then. Take them out, get a discount. Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. How's that going? I'd be like afraid to get a tattoo. I'm definitely not that type of person. And I guess, like, only if something, like, really meant a lot to me. Like a family member's name or something. I would never get, like, a significant other's name or anything like that. Only family. Yeah. I think it would be cool for the first bit, and then after a while, like, as it ages, I just grow to not enjoy it as much. But I think, like, the people that do like tattoos are just acceptant of that fact. Like, if all tattoos look like the first time that you, like, the first minute that you put on temporary tattoo, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I've seen people that, like, have big scarring and stuff like that, and they cover it up with a tattoo and it works really well. Like a big birthmark or something. Otherwise, they just have, like, big red blotch on them. So at least put it... Like, if I ever got burned or something... I don't know how... if it would work with, like, a burn. I wonder if you can tattoo on that or if that would be bad. Gotta represent. If I got my birth year, everyone would think it's a reference to 9/11, so... Never forget 2001. It'd be a conversation starter. You were alive at 9/11? Barely. One of the few people in this world that forgot what happened. Or never knew what happened. I do not remember where I was whenever 9/11 happened. Probably in, like, my mom's arms. I enjoy it, but to hype me up for a world record, I usually like faster music. They just said they had a birth year, middle of the ribs. That's one of them, at least. Also, you said your first tattoo was in 2019, Karmic, and you have, like, your entire body tattooed now? That's pretty fast. I feel like that'd be a lot of money. in a small amount of time. Oh, I see. That's a lot of canvas to fill, being 7 foot. It'll cost extra. If you were like 5 foot, then it'd probably be much cheaper. I've seen, just randomly browsing the internet, I've been seeing people that get like their eyebrows like tattooed on. And I'm sure for someone that actually has tattoos, yeah, people know about it, but I was like surprised that existed. Guess it would make getting ready a lot less. Like, you never have to shave, like, and be, like, careful about it. You can just shave it all. Well, I know that, but I don't think, eyebrow tattoos is extreme as eyeball tattoos. It's just something I never thought about. But it makes sense. Yeah. I'm not afraid of needles. Like, I can get vaccines and shots and stuff, no issue, if I need to. But I just feel like, not for me. Needles in your eye. Be like that, what game was that? Dead Space? When you upgrade, the needle goes straight in his eye. That still, like, traumatized me as a kid. Oh, that sounds terrible. What do you mean depends? I'm not the type to, like, get tattoos or anything like that, but I would wear dumb clothes and stuff out in public. I am the type to vinyl their car completely. It was always nice when someone just like went, "Oh, I like your shirt, dude. I like your hoodie." In like 2015, I bought a hoodie that said Supreme Leader, and it was the leader of North Korea, but like with the Supreme logo, and he had like a bunch of like the dumb, like, I don't know, just like the style at the time of being like the I don't know what exactly he has on him, but he has drip, and it's on both sides. And people are like, "You're not embarrassed to be wearing that out?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't care." I had to let my dog in. It's a good thing I have noise suppression on this mic, because otherwise be hearing dog barks. I used to wear a beanie all the time, and then my hair got too long, and now they always fall off my head. We have a half pit bull mix of something. He's like smaller than regular pit bulls, and then a full-blooded border collie that herds him all the time. No, not herd. Although she does that too. She's a little menace. I think I linked a picture of him before, or of her. I don't know if it was in the general though. But she's not like the normal border collie colors. She's like mostly white with like grays and stuff all over. Border collie's only gotten recently barky. She's that biting type of herding dog, and so when she herds, she'll bite his legs. It's become an issue. We gotta make sure that she's not like biting his legs too much. Oh, that was quite the... I mean, they play whenever she does it. She doesn't do it too hard. You can hear their little sneezes that they do when they're playing. We've only ever had outside cats. I've never had a cat that's like lives inside that was like mine. When I was a kid, we had a what are the ones with the flat faces? The pug versions of cats that are really expensive and fluffy? Yeah, we had two of those. One was named Gizmo, and he was gigantic. And we had to give him to a friend just because he got too big. And then one was named Sasha, and she was like gray. And she hated everyone else but my godmother that lived with us. And so she just stayed in my godmother's room. But when I was a kid, we had very chill outside cats. Like, we had an outside cat that, like, defended one of us from a dog when we were a kid. His name was just Gato, because we're unoriginal. And Spanish, so... I think cats are kind of just like roommates. I think there's not very... They only sometimes walk up and get pets. Otherwise, they're just chilling. I feel like a dog is the opposite. Dogs want attention. You say that until you've had a bird. I will never have a bird. We had a bird for like a month because someone was out of town, and it was like the worst experience. And those things live way too long. Like, I understand, like, you want your pet to live very long, but at some point it becomes like, if I die, who's taking care of this? Like 40 years. Yeah, some parrots are 40, some can go up to 80, surely. And at that point, like, your pet is your pet. I don't want to force, like, my kids to have to inherit a pet, like inherit a responsibility. So if I ever had kids and a parrot, that wouldn't be... And even if it wasn't to kids, if it was like to family, I feel like it's not their choice. You have to be a very specific type of person to want a bird. It's basically like watching a 5-year-old for 40 years. A very mischievous and loud 5-year-old. The launch or this boost right here? This boost is kind of precise. But the launch is extremely precise. And now we don't have setups anymore. So I'm doing it blind, basically. Basically, if you see me run on that wall, I got close. If you see me, like, grab the top or something like that, that means I wasn't that close. If I grab the top, I was too early. If I run on the wall, I was too late. They died too early. I will never forgive EA. Yeah, at least keep the servers on until you make another game. Or give it, like, I don't know, 10 years? The original game had 10 years at least. It had like 13. Triathlon. That'd be very convenient. They turn off the servers as soon as you get servers working. That'd be like the nicest thing they could ever have done. Which is why they definitely wouldn't have done that. There's been, as far as I can tell, there's been no significant updates for a little bit. Just because they took a break once the servers went down. Because they were working really hard right before they did. That's quite the trio. I guess it makes sense because a triathlon isn't doing the same thing over and over. Those games are which one is running, which one's swimming, and which one is biking. Is that the 3 that's a triathlon? To be honest, I've never watched or participated in one. Seems like a regular one. That's very unfortunate. Right before a marathon to break your toe. Yeah, there's a lot of training that goes into that. I mean, I enjoy running. Like, I never really hated it as a kid. But I'm still not that type. I think what made me stop running, because I used to run for, like, cardio reasons, not just, like, just in general for fun, was I'd get terrible headaches, like, right after I ran for, like, the next, like, 10 hours. It was, like, debilitating headaches, too. Like, I was the type, I'd get those headaches running at school, and I'd come home and literally collapse at my front door as soon as I got in. I think I'd have to, like, bike or something like that. Just because, I don't know, something about my brain bouncing around in my noggin gives me terrible headaches. And it definitely wasn't the water issue. I was drinking tons. I've always gotten headaches since I was a little kid. Even doing nothing that were debilitating. Like when I was in school and stuff like that, everyone knew, like, if I had my head on my desk, then not to mess with me. I got it from my mom. She has them too, still does. How's it going, Frosty? I think we've hit 3 boosts. No bunny hops after that, though. Yeah, I saw about that. It was very unfortunate. He was gonna set a lot more records. It's only a matter of time. She's the only marathon runner. Man, I love this song. I've been watching a lot of like trivia type things lately, and it just exposed like how much like I have this big gap of knowledge of like sports of any type, professional. Like I couldn't tell you anyone but like the most famous. I think the people to me that can recite, like, I don't know, like which actor and actress are in this movie from like 40 years ago, and if you ask them like any movie that they can do that, it's such a different type of skill set to my own that is just super interesting to me. Like that long-term memory of wanting to remember names. I don't have much very fun facts about anything. Classic. I like useful knowledge, but only in that specific field. Like knowing stuff in your field is super cool to me. Because that's basically what I am. I know a lot about computers and stuff. I spec all into computer knowledge. The thing is, if you know anything about it, and no one else does, you're kind of like forced into it by everyone else when you're a kid, because they need someone to not get screwed over. So you feel like you're compelled to do so because a lot of people get screwed over when they don't realize. And you don't want, you know, your family or your friends to get screwed over, so you feel like you gotta help. It's a good thing I enjoy it, at the very least. I think the sport that I know the most about probably is baseball. And the thing is, on the internet, baseball is like hated. Like, to someone that didn't grow up with it, like, they think it's super boring. And I can understand where they're coming from. But yeah, I did nothing for the Super Bowl. They're not. They're from the south of the US, I assume. You act like it's not a big name. How do you know about this? I've had a few friends from North Carolina. Always very cool people. What's crazy is I've known a lot of people from North Carolina, but none from South Carolina. And a lot from West Virginia, but none from Ohio. For some reason, it's really rare to find another person online from Texas for me. I don't think I've ever had a friend... Alright, that's a lie. I've had one friend that was online that happened to be from Texas as well. Really? I've never visited anywhere besides Oklahoma and Kansas, so I couldn't tell you anything. But from what I can tell, it's like... It's just normal to me, so it... That's not good if that's the... That doesn't happen in New York. I just think in big cities in general, people are around more people, and so they've had bad experiences with people more often, and people become jaded. If everyone's spaced out a little bit more, you see less people, and thus you're more likely to be nice because you've had less bad experiences with people. Like, I feel like it's the same thing with customer service and stuff like that. Like, if some people are, like, really nice, they get put in customer service, and then eventually they just hate people. Where they're one of the few people that can tolerate all that and still put on a smile. And that's rare. I hate customer service on both sides. Talk to me like I'm a robot. Don't try to sell me something. Give me the information I need and that's it. I don't want someone to like put on a fake smile very much. If it's a real smile, I don't mind, but if it's a fake smile, then just be yourself. Like at restaurants, I'd tip more if someone just left me alone and they didn't try to force themselves into our conversation. Just fill my drinks and leave me alone. But at the same time, I couldn't imagine, like, the type of person to, like, be mean to someone that's doing customer service. It's just so, like, far away from something I would do. It's hard to even imagine someone that would be that terrible person. If someone does a good job, then I tip more than the average person. Probably quite a bit more. Like if someone did like an amazing job for like a $70 meal, I'd tip 50%. Yeah, if someone is horrible, they get the minimum, like, not the minimum tip, but the minimum, like, percentage option on the kiosk. Like, just what you're supposed to tip and nothing more. Which I think is like, is it like 17% or something like that? That's if, like, you never even filled my drink a single time. And I haven't seen you. You get that money just for bringing out the food, and that's it. The thing is, tipping culture is a thing in a lot of places over here because honestly, a lot of bartenders and servers make more money doing it than if they got paid like the normal wage. I'm not saying all of them, but there's certain people who would be like, if tipping wasn't a thing, then I would be making a lot less. You just have to be in like an upper, you know, not working at the cheapest sit-down restaurant. It really depends on the establishment. I do not. If it's a little more like upper class, then a lot of people would prefer not to get rid of tips. They make less than minimum wage. It's around the same here. I think they changed it to like 8. but no one really. If you're actively working a minimum wage job, literally just go to, I don't know, your Kroger or HEB and get like $11, $12. If someone actually pays minimum wage, then I don't know what you're doing staying there. The only places that I've seen that actually pay minimum wage are like McDonald's. And that's only because it's literally teenagers. That, like, there's some places where like 14-year-olds can only work at like McDonald's or whatever. So I understand them getting paid that, but you're worth more than $7 an hour. There's places that will pay you more than that. I remember when like the virus stuff was going on and they were paying like $15 an hour for like Kroger and HEB. Yeah, that boy got that virus. He's stuck in time. Classic. Make plans and then just like, oh, never mind, I'm tired. I did that to Tyrion Foshi. My humor is very referential. I can't make jokes. I can just reference jokes other people have made. I'm pretty sure that's like millennial humor. I have old people humor. I don't have that Zoomer humor where you say something random and it's hilarious. I still have never used any delivery service. The only thing I've ever gotten delivered was pizza. I refuse to let other people deliver my food. Or at least people I don't know. You're not even a millennial, Tyria. Don't act like you're offended by that. Anything past, was it 1996? Gen Z? It's still not. I don't know, millennials are like reaching 40. Around 40. The thing is as you get older, your old threshold changes. I'm somewhat of a millennial myself. Hello, millennials. But yeah, feeling old is literally who you surround yourself with. Like being the youngest person in your like primary school class feels like crazy. Like everyone's so old when they're literally a year older. But like if you go to like a country club or something, you're like a spry 65 and everyone else is like 70. You're like, whoa, these people are old. That's why old people golf so much. It's the only place they feel spry. Also, what is DoorDash clarity? What does that even mean? I didn't question it whenever I saw it, but now that I see it again, I have no idea what that is. Oh, post DoorDash clarity, I see. Yeah, I see. I don't know, I'm super cheap. I will spend money on other people, but I refuse to spend more than, like, for my convenience. I will pay for other people's convenience, but not for my convenience. I am not the treat yourself type of person. The runner's high stuff is like one of the best feelings you could ever get. That's the only thing I really miss about running. Like getting that second wind. Too loud. That's how I feel about running Catalyst. Different kind of running, but I do not... I'm indifferent to the running itself. All this... The world record at the end is what I care about. There's just a nice feeling just doing something for so long and then finally getting it. Humans just crave that feeling. It's what keeps the world turning. like having a goal and achieving it, even if it's like sleepless nights and feeling tired all the time, when you finally finish that goal, it just feels like it's all worth it. Six monsters. I've never had an energy drink. And I feel like that's a good thing, but it's also one of those things that I have like so many things of like, oh, I've never done this, that it just makes me feel like a square. Was that too millennial pilled of a word? I couldn't think of a better word, so I came up with a word that's in... It's like hearing nerd unironically in like a 90s to like 70s movie. Like 70s and 90s, like that era. Hearing the word nerd be used as like an actual insult is crazy. Like, you sound like a nerd if you're saying nerd. And to think there's different words for each type of nerd. Like, nerds were the type that like really into schoolwork and math. And geeks are like the people that were in like D&D club and stuff like that. And doofuses are just like class clown kind of dumb guys that are outcasts. Like a nerd that's not smart is a doofus. Also, I've heard in the past that a lot of people from Europe find it crazy that our school buses are actually yellow, and still are. They're like, that's the thing from the movie. That's the movie thing. But it's kind of the same thing as when like someone from the US sees a double-decker bus. Like, that's the movie thing. They actually use those? It is strange that school buses really haven't changed since the 70s. They just added AC. So I understand why Europeans find it a little weird. I mean, the design hasn't really changed. I mean, when I was a kid, we still had no AC in our school bus. We had like a very lax bus driver. He was the type to always wear a cowboy hat, and he just let you do anything. And it's crazy how different a bus driver can change the vibe of the bus. Like, we had a chill bus driver we had the same one for like all of my formative years. And he was real chill, real nice dude. Like, we'd bring him stuff for certain holidays and stuff like that. Like we'd bring stuff on the bus because he was cool. And one day he was out sick or doing something. No. And we had a different bus driver. And it was these two ladies who were just very, like, safety oriented. And they would force everyone to have their seatbelts on, make zero noise, because she said that she can't drive if the bus is noisy. And I'm just like, how are you a bus driver? And all of the girls and the boys are on opposite sides. Like, they wouldn't let you be on the same side. So you had to be silent and wear your seatbelt. It was the worst thing I've ever heard. We only had to do that for like 3 days, and I hated the bus for that. It's crazy how different, like, the bus experience can be just by having a cool bus driver. "45 minutes? Thing is, we were the first to get picked up and the last to get dropped off. And the thing is we would drive past our house, but on the wrong side of, like, the canal. And so we could get off at, like, the very beginning of the bus drive and just walk across the canal if we wanted to. But I was like 8 years old, and my brother wasn't on the same bus as me. So I had to wait that entire time. Because my mom didn't want me, like, walking by myself. I don't remember my bus driver's name. Did you have AC in your bus, though? We didn't. It was rough. If you had no AC, then I respect that. Our bus driver was cool. He would let us have, like, iPods and phones out. Says anything about school bus. You know, this school bus from this TV show, you totally had that. Wait, you had designated seats? What is that even? It was everyone fights for themselves. They were... If you get in last, unfortunate, because you're sitting third on the row. The only people that had assigned seats were like the people that sat at the very front. They were usually people that were disabled or... But not enough to ride the smaller bus. That was the only assigned seating. And it wasn't really assigned, it was just kind of like enforced by parent type of thing. And the bus driver would watch after them. Oh no, that sounds... I said like mid-back. I was cool with all the Mexicans in the class, or in the bus. So that was like the designated Mexican spot. I feel like I haven't been looking at the screen the last 30 minutes. But I've still been doing runs somehow. What's crazy is we had like no white kids in our entire school, basically. We have very few. And so like when I see like people that go to school in like the northern states and it's just all white kids, it's just like where's everyone else? I'd say mine was like 40% Mexican, 40% black, 10% white. Maybe a little more Mexican. Like when they were handing out awards, whenever they got to Gonzalez, man, we were there for a while. Or Hernandez. That's that one person. I know who you're talking about. I didn't like sitting back there. People sat back there were really rowdy. And I didn't want to get blamed for something I didn't do. Who does that? They let a lighter inside the bus? What? Oh, I guess you don't need lighter for matches. I'm dumb. But still, why would they even let matches on the bus? I guess they could just hide them, but who brings matches to school? You're gonna commit some arson today? That doesn't sound like a very smart idea. Just a tiny bit of trolling. What's crazy is as a kid, there are these things that are like huge memories in my brain of like, oh, the bus, someone ripped up a bus cover and they question everyone on the bus because they want them to admit it was them because they don't have cameras, but they were like, we have cameras, we know who it is. And you need to come up or else you're going to get a worse punishment. That happened very often. Like, you know they didn't have cameras, but they would say, we have cameras. Confess who did it. And everyone's just silent. We just sit there for like 10 minutes looking at each other. I don't know. What do you want from me? I didn't do it. And it worked a couple times. The culprit came through. There were no fights in my school. There was no bullying really in my school either. The only kids that were kind of like bullies, they were really small. And so when they got into fights, they would lose. Like they were like, they'd try to bully the bigger kids, and then the big kids would just like body slam them, and then they wouldn't bully anymore. They didn't allow phones in our schools. If you got caught with your phone, they'd confiscate it, and you have to pay $30 to get it back. Yeah, it was $30. What's crazy is the one time they'd be like, hey, we know you have phones, and everyone would bring it up, was during the tax tests, which is like the big tests at the end of the year. I think it's called the STAR now with 2 A's, but it was TAKS before. During that test at the end of the year, they'd be like, everyone bring up your phones to the front of the class. We know you have your phones. Just bring them here. And everyone would bring their phones up. But, you know those chairs that they had in school where the bottoms, where you could put like your binders and stuff underneath? Those like metal, like kind of grates underneath them? Those things would always make a loud noise whenever you would kick them. And when I was taking my test, I'd put my phone up there with the teacher, and she had my phone and stuff like that. But I kicked the guy's chair in front of me, and it sounded just like a phone's vibration. And my teacher freaked out, and she's like, "Who was that? Whose phone was that?" And man, I was shaking in my boots. I didn't have a phone. I just kicked a chair too hard. Leave me alone. I hated those chairs. Too tiny. I don't remember my principal. We never saw them very much. We only saw them during ceremonies. That sounds illegal. That definitely sounds bad. Our school was one of the schools that had a guy get caught for doing things with the kids. We were one of those schools. Got on the news for like the whole state. It's crazy. And he was literally like the teacher next to us. Our dress code as a kid, we had to wear no graphic tees, and we had to wear collared shirts, and we had to tuck them in. Had to be collared with buttons. Once we got into junior high, we still had to tuck in our shirts, but we could have graphic tees without collars. They didn't want to have to pay for a uniform. Unless you have to buy uniforms. But for us, it was, you could wear any pants. Just you had to wear a very specific type of shirt. Man, I hated collared shirts after that. I would not wear a shirt with a collar now. Unless it's like a button up. I will not wear a collared shirt. Also, we had to wear belts. If we didn't have a belt, then we had to get one from the lost and found, and we had to get it from there. And it didn't stop anyone from like sagging. There was still tons of sagging because that was the cool thing whenever we were in school. I don't know if it still is now. But people just wore the belts and sagged anyway. I don't remember there being any like hair type dress code. Besides no hats. No hats of any type. College is high school there, right? It's not the same thing. University is college to us. Or I misremembered. 16, 19. So basically high school. Yeah. Although I never went to high school. I was homeschooled from 8th to 12th. I finished like 2 years early. 2 or 3. Just because I was tired of having to deal with... We would only learn for like an hour in our school per 8-hour day. And I was like, man, I could learn this like twice, 3 times as fast if I just did homeschool. And then I had the opportunity. I'm like, I'm taking it. And thus I did. And finished high school 2 years early. But it's crazy to like, because I had stuff online, like I didn't learn from my parents or anything like that. And so I was like the first of the, because like 2020 everyone was you know, doing online schooling. But I have those memories before. It's weird to be able to relate to so many people. You gotta pick up the DoorDash. I still think it's hilarious. Just the streamers that will, sorry guys, gotta get my DoorDash, and then they just start watching videos while they eat it. And then they just leave the videos on and they're gone for like 30 minutes. Me when I'm a streamer, I haven't ordered DoorDash in 2 days. He looked like trouble. Okay. I don't remember anything specific that we had to do. We had to get good grades, and that then our school got more funding. So they'd pass kids that that should not have passed. Because if a kid fails, they didn't make money. The only thing I remember specifically in school was a jump rope for heart. That was also box tops. I don't know if they still do box tops. The prize for a bunch of box tops was the Nintendo Wii, and a 3DS was second place. Or is it the 2DS? I don't know. It's been a while. I think it was the original 3DS. It was like a raffle, but if the more box tops you had, the more raffle tickets you had. Jump rope for heart? Man, that was like... I don't know, there was prizes for that too. I think it was like... It was connected with the box tops. Like, the whole thing was jump rope for heart, but you had to collect box tops too. Because all of the schools were like... Or all of the cereal was like, heart healthy, heart healthy. Like the Cheerios stuff. I would say I was in like the top 20% of box tops. Just from family. We had a lot of cereal as a kid. It was to raise money for like heart associations, like, and just to get kids active, they would make them jump rope. To reduce risk of like stroke and stuff like that, and they would like teach you all about like why you should exercise type stuff. Standard kid stuff. Banner? For us, Yeah, it was a huge raffle at the end of the year. And I never won anything at the raffles in all of my years that I did it. Which was like 5 years. So I've just considered myself unlucky ever since. Like, I didn't even win any of the small things. Like, you know, like erasers on the back of your pencils. I never even won something like that. It was crazy. Yeah, there was like people that would like learn sick tricks during the jump rope for heart stuff. It was like just as big as an event in school as like the spelling bee. But it lasted like months, like half the year at least. Maybe the full year. You had ceremonies at the very end. You remember that for the rest of your life, yeah. There's a mandatory spelling bee? What? You had a mandatory spelling bee? We had one every year, but it was opt-in. Welcome back. We've been talking about jump rope for heart. And school raffles back in elementary. Also, I remember if you had perfect attendance, at the end of the year, you'd go bowling. And my mom gave me $20 to get a pizza. And then suddenly everyone was my friend. We were cool, right? We were cool. You know, I always had your back. Just because they wanted that slice, man. I only let one person have that slice. He was pretty cool. But man, it was $22 for a single pizza at the bowling alley. I had perfect attendance like all my life because my mom wouldn't let me skip class for anything. Even if I was sick, I still had to go. You're sick, you go in and you have them come bring you back home. Then you're really sick. That's the only time you're too sick to go to school, whenever they send you back. I think my best friend in primary was Joe. And my best friend in elementary was Sebastian. And in junior. Smelled like pretzels. Man, I remember the Taki craze. Oh, I hated Takis. But they were like #1 choice of like every kid in my school. Me and my friend Joe, we liked the same girl, but we would like wingman for each other. We'd be like, you get pretty far? No, you did? No. Man, we gotta try harder. None of us ever actually explicitly told her. We just tried to do nice things for her because we just thought that's how it worked. And both of us were never the type. We're always too like, what if she says no? But we'd be playing like soccer, and we'd like let her ball go past. But you know, try to fake it like we like didn't want it to go past. But at the same time, how does that make her like us? In my brain now that I think about it, I'm like, why would not being able to stop a ball make her like me more? But we just wanted to do nice things for her, I guess. Like, wouldn't it look better if we blocked the ball? But my brain, you know, fourth grade brain didn't think that way. We just like, well, let her score. We're twins. I never understood the people that had girlfriends and stuff in first grade. I never had a girlfriend at school. But especially in primary school, like, what even is going on? There were a few that, and it just came off as super weird. What is that? Dry ice in a bottle and sealed it. Where? Just like in your own house at school? Where did you get dry ice? I was about to say. I forgot why, but we had a whole freezer of dry ice, and we'd take turns to see who could hold it the longest. And I know that's a terrible thing now. You should not do that. But kid me was like, man, I'm gonna hold this dry ice as long as possible. It got me used to the cold. I never got used to like warm things though, like hot things. I still burn my hands on like hot water coming out of the sink. Putting a hole in the ceiling with a bottle cap, yeah. Sounds like it. Lunch lady stuff. Oh, I thought I didn't make that. Chair because of wrestling? Nope. I think the craziest thing that ever happened when I was a kid is we were playing Wii Sports. We were bowling, and I was a bowling god, right? I'd get strike after strike. I was amazing at Wii bowling. Like the original Wii Sports bowling. And we had a neighbor that would come over and play. He was like 5 years older than me, real tall guy. And we had one of those dangling like chandeliers, but it wasn't like a normal chandelier. It had normal light bulbs in it, like normal size. And I was showing off and doing like backwards bowling and hitting strikes and stuff like that. And you know, I hit the strike because I'm 10 years old and this is my life. I never did anything else. And his name was Ryan. He tries it. He puts his hand backwards. Since he's much taller than me, his hand goes straight into the light bulb, like cuts like his artery, and blood starts gushing out. And he had to go to the hospital. because he cut his hand on this light bulb playing Wii bowling. And like me as a kid, you know, my whole thing was like, my mom's gonna find out about the light bulb. Like your brain as a kid is like, what happens when I get in trouble? This has to be my fault somehow. Not this kid is gonna die if he doesn't. I think someone got like a t-shirt or something and wrapped it around it. And he went to the hospital. But they never got angry at me for breaking the light bulb, even though I didn't do it, but I was like the catalyst. No pun intended. Flip the table? You had to be like the Hulk to flip a table in my school because they were really long. They were like big picnic tables that were like 50 feet long. They go across the whole auditorium. I've never broken a window, I don't think. See you soon, Night Sky. His vision came back after a week and a half. Classic. Where did my speed go? Yeah. My mom was that type, like the one I was scared of as a kid. My dad was super chill, but my mom would... There was one time, I think the most I ever got in trouble was whenever I went to my dad, or I went to my mom to ask for something, and she said no. And so I went to my dad and asked him, and he said yes. And I've never seen my mom so angry at me. And she was angry at my dad too, even though he didn't know. He was in the doghouse as well. It was, I think, just some ice cream or something. But the thing of it wasn't important. It was the message of going to someone else after someone said no. That's what made her angry. I never really did too many crazy things as a kid. So like very mundane things stick out to me as like things that I did bad. Like I think, do you remember the Simpsons game on the Wii? I wanted that really bad, and so my godmother went out and got it for me. But she said that I couldn't open it until after she was home the next day. Like, it was still in this plastic film and stuff like that, and she's like, you can't play it until I'm home tomorrow. And like, we had these locks on the door that you could open with a coin, and our bathroom was connected, so she always had her bathroom locked, and so I couldn't use it. So I was just a door in my room I can't use. Well, one day I unlocked that with the coin to get the game, and I got the game and I played it all day. And then whenever she was getting home, I put the game back. But the thing is, it didn't have the plastic film on it. That was the most my godmother ever got angry at me. I can't believe you. I just wanted to play the Simpsons game. And I think later she saw, like, she heard like a bad word in it, and then she took the game away from me. She didn't know that the Simpsons game had cursing in it. Oh no. What is a Christmas cracker? Like the things that you throw on the ground that make a... I didn't get to play GTA. We had a PS2, but I never played it. It was my brother's. But you played San Andreas all the time. Yeah, I don't know what that is. This song is also good. I always forget this song exists and I'm like, oh man, it's this song. Things you pull and you have a joke, a hat, and a silly toy in them. I've never heard of this. The only fun candy or like thing like that I ever had as a kid was Laffy Taffies. They just had lame jokes on them. We loved like water guns and airsoft guns as a kid. We would have airsoft fights. There was no such thing as trespassing because the trailer park we lived in had no fences. And so they'd only be like, "Hey, kooky kid, get out of my yard." But we were only trying to sneak up on our friend to hit him with the airsoft gun, so they didn't care. We never really went out of our trailer park. When I say trailer park, it's not like a normal mobile home type thing. It was like the big trailers that like you needed like 2 big trucks to pull them, each half of it. And it was like a big actual like asphalt road that went down, and there was like 100 houses on each side going down the road. And so we had like a big area to play in. And we just had a lot of friends as a kid. And everyone kind of knew each other in the trailer park. There was one guy that also, he had like a little train that he made himself. Like with like a lawnmower engine and like lumber. And it was like the things like you take your girlfriend on. It was like 20 cars going up and down the trailer park, and he had music playing the whole time. And you just sit there in the have the cool air, and then like, you know, seats from like old diners, like the wide seats with the cushions. And that was like the coolest thing. Like the whole thing lit up with lights and stuff like that, and had music playing. And you just be, oh, the train is here. Never wanted to get on. He'd go to like events for like the primary school, and he'd bring his train there. But that's such like a formative memory. Like, I wish I could be that guy. Not to like be like lauded as someone cool, but to do things for kids like that, to like, you know, just be a part of, like, they're a formative part of their life when they're kids. It's like a cool memory to have. Like, I wish everyone had that experience growing up. Like, it didn't register in my brain that that just wasn't normal until I got to like 15 and he stopped doing it. And I'm like, where's everyone else's, you know? There's a weird, not weird, but there's a sense of community in those types of trailer parks. At least back then. I don't know how it is now. It was a cool place to grow up. Already for you? There was a, in, what was it called? In school, they would make us, like, make Valentine's cards, but you couldn't make one for a single person. You had to make them for everyone, which kind of defeats the point. Like, if you gave out one, you had to give one to everyone. And if you gave one, and like it's secret, that was like bad. So everyone would give like Valentine's cards and stuff like that, but you'd write like nicer things to the people you actually like inside the card. Yeah, and there'd be candy along with it. It was like that for every suite, though, as well. If you bring one, you have to bring one for everyone. Loner, maybe? I can't think of like a weird term like that we would use. There was one kid in my class when I was pretty young. I think it was like elementary. And like we were like in passing type of friends. Like I didn't want to speak to him for longer than a minute, but if we saw each other in the hallway, we'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And he wasn't that weird. He just didn't talk very much, but he was known for having no friends, and I was kind of more of the, not a popular kid, but also not, like I was cool with the popular kids, but I wouldn't hang out with them. But everyone knew me, and we just like do the little head nod thing that the Mexicans do. Be like, "Hey, what's up?" And so she came to me and she's like, "I need you to be this kid's friend." And I was like, I can try, you know, I can do that. But I was talking to him like a few days after that because she told me to. And when I was talking to him, he said something like insulting to me. And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, why would you say something like that?" And so I dropped the bomb that the teacher told me to be his friend. And I think he cried. I felt really bad that I did that. But he said something like really like insulting. I forgot what it was, but still. I've never forgotten that I did that. I feel really bad about it. Sorry, Daniel, if we're out there. I wasn't friends with everyone, but everyone was chill with me. They knew me as the chill guy that didn't really like do anything too crazy. We just kind of just sit and talk. The thing is I didn't think about it as a kid. Like, I didn't think of anyone being like the popular kids. That was like a foreign concept to me, to have like different factions. There were normal kids and then kids that didn't talk to anyone. The closest thing to popular kids we had were like all the girls that were really into farm animals. Like, traveled as a herd. Like all the horse girls. And they're like, yeah, I raised a pig this summer and we're going to the nationals. Type stuff, people. But I was always too poor to do that. You had to be a little more funded. Oh, we had a yo-yo guy come to our school like 3 times a year, or not 3 times, like 3 years in a row. Probably more, but that's the only times I remember it. Like, everyone would, like, he would sell his yo-yos and then he'd go on the stage and show how, like, the cool yo-yo tricks he could do. And the thing is I don't know if they even, yeah, they sold yo-yos. Was there like background checks on this guy, or just a random yo-yo player? Like, how does that even happen? How is that something that's in more than one school? Everyone had a yo-yo for like a week, and then a month after that, like if you had a yo-yo, you'd be like, oh, that's those yo-yos, I should get mine. Mine's at home. I need to bring my yo-yo next time. Because they would let you play with it. That was like one of the few things you could have that you could mess with. Everyone had one, but since everyone had one, no one really cared to get really good at it. Everyone was just kind of like they'd fidget with it. They wouldn't really learn how to yo-yo. It wasn't a passion thing. It was more like, oh, I'm doing it because I have nothing else to do type thing. That's unfortunate. I remember the Scholastic Book Fair. Every year I'd buy a different car poster. And then the video game cheat codes books. I never bought anything else besides like erasers and stuff like that. I was the exact opposite of like what they wanted. I wouldn't buy any books that mattered. I would just buy car posters and cheat books. Yeah. Those car posters were like $20 too. My mom would give me like 25, and so I'd spend like 20 on a poster and then 5 on something else. I think the cheat code books were like $11.99 though. I think I only got one like once every other year. I don't even know what cars I was buying the posters of. Probably like a yellow Ferrari or something. But I didn't know. I was just like, cool car. Whenever I was in school during that's when silly bands were going crazy, so they had silly bands there. I could see parents encouraging that, yeah. But yeah, the teachers never understood the silly bands. These are just rubber bands. Why you like them? We're like, man, this one looks like a turtle. It was that, or the, you know, the snap bracelets where they were like, they used, if you ever opened one up, they actually used like tape measures, like cut up tape measures, and you just like slap them on your wrist and they go around. I remember those vividly. My mom didn't care what I did as long as I finished my schoolwork. So I just played games when I got home. A lot of Guitar Hero and Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty 4. I never got into Rubik's Cubes. I never got into something that actually takes skill. Unless it was some sort of game. We didn't really have cubers as a kid, but we had the stackers. The cup stacking people. I remember. And they would sing a song along with it sometimes too. When they would stack them and they would do like this whole choreographed thing. I had a cup stack. And I had the little timer on it, and I don't think I ever got like really, really good, but I did it a bit. I think that's the closest I got to a skill. Even if it is a pointless one. Someone that shares all your interests. I never really have like interests to share with people because all my interests ever since I was like 12 has been like gaming stuff. I know of like the other ones, but I don't actually like have ever participated. Like I can't relate to the band kids or anything because I was in drama. Stuff like that. Brahma was chill. The only thing about drama that was kind of weird is I always sat next to the girl who was like super emo, but not the like the type of emo that I liked. To where like she would miss school like all the time and she had to go to the hospital a lot because of cuts. And so basically drama was basically talking to her. Basically. Because I had a designated seat there. I've never played like a chess game like seriously. I don't know how chess works. As a kid in music class, we played blackjack though. And that's the only reason I know how to play blackjack. For some reason we'd play gambling games with music notes. I never learned poker. I think there was a brief moment where I knew how to play Texas Hold'em, but I don't anymore. You learn a lot of those skills while you're in school. There's a lot of kids that do stuff like that, and when I was younger, I just never got into it all. The only drawings I ever did was the fancy S on their school books. The Superman S. I think that's what we called it as a kid. It was either Superman or the Gangster S. Graffiti kids? I don't think we had a graffiti faction in our school. The only graffiti that we would see is on the sides of trains and underneath highways. We don't see it really anywhere else. I think graffiti could be cool to learn, but it screws up your lungs too much. It's kind of unavoidable. The only thing we did is we had art class in like 4th grade. And she would make us like watercolor. There was a serial urinal pooper in my school. They could never catch him. It was always hilarious. Yeah, someone would poop in the urinals and leave it there. And they'd call assemblies and stuff like that, like, to try to find this kid. They're like, if you see someone do that, you tell us. I don't think they ever caught him. Unpunished. He did it at least like 5 times. It's like, the custodians went in the bathroom and they were appalled. Like, they'd say it like, they'd start it like someone died, you know? Like, we have something to tell you. Every day. He definitely would have gotten caught. I don't know if I pooped every day at school. Probably not even, like once a week even. Maybe once every 2 weeks. That's impressive. You knew it was a bad day if you had to use the restroom at school. That's like, you know, you can't hold it for the, 30 minutes of sitting and 45-minute bus drive. And like, everyone's using the bathrooms at the end of the day. So you just know that you're gonna be that guy holding them up. Guys didn't have that camaraderie. I'm pretty sure I walked in one day of all of the guys trying to see who could pee the longest and still make it into the urinal. That's something I walked into. Like, there was one guy that was trying from like 10 feet away. And I'd say probably more than 50% got in there. It was impressive. Honestly, the things we got complaints about the most were the women's bathrooms. Like 99% of the time, whenever they call an assembly, it was always like, who did this in the women's bathroom? And all of us guys were like, why are we here? We are not in those bathrooms, so why are we here? And it's not like the guys would go in there. That was a big no-no. You get like suspended over that. Yeah, I went to school before, people were recording videos like that and trying to get views. They were just doing it for the love of the game. That's nice. That was not a discourse in our school in the slightest. Just didn't exist back then. I wish I could connect to my homies in the same way. Most of the things I heard in the auditorium whenever we got called for the women's bathroom stuff, it was mostly like there's poop on the walls and not like you need to clean up after. It's mostly just, yeah, there's poop on the walls. So what are you doing? I think there was also a sink pooper, but it was a woman. There was a guy that did it in the urinal, and a girl that did it in the sink. I think she was inspired by the urinal pooper. I've walked on a scene like that many times, where the wall is like covered. That was terrible. It was impressive. Like, how could you get up to the sink to even do that? So most people just thought that she just did it in her hand and then put it in the sink. Yeah, that just didn't exist when I was a kid. One of the things I vividly remember is how often people would throw up. Like, it's crazy how sick kids get whenever you, like, put them all together in a big petri dish. Haley, nice to see you. There was someone throwing up at least, like, every other day. And the custodians always had to clean it up with this sawdust stuff. Classic. There's some people just have like really thin lining on their nose and they just get unlucky. Nice to see you, Karmic. Hope you're doing well. And that your night goes well. Good night. For some reason I thought you wrote Kermit right there. I believe so. Whenever names are different on Discord and Twitch, it sometimes screws with my brain too. I always try to have the same name everywhere, so I'm not just like having to explain who I am every time. Yeah, I remember that you had a different name. And I think you might have had a turtle picture or something. I remembered the pictures more than the names on YouTube. Good night. I remember the turtle. Yeah, it's basically how I remembered people were just the pictures. Classic. I remember Abyss always had like the dragon. So forever in my brain he has that like dragon looking picture. Thank you for the explanation, Comic. Classic. That and the streams. So real. I think the only person that was like a super hard snorer was my dad, and whenever I'd fall asleep as a kid, like next to him, like he'd snore and then he'd like do those snores where you don't think he's gonna breathe, and it would freak me out as a kid. I'm like, breathe, you're sleeping, breathe. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream though, pretty soon. I've been having a lot of short streams lately, but like this is just the same thing over and over. Impressive. What time is it even? 7:19 for me. Did you get your DoorDash? Is that what you said, the BRB earlier? Classic DoorDash. That's what I figured. It's crazy to go from, yeah, I'm gonna go out and probably stay up till at least like, 11, to I'm laying down at whatever time it is. I'm saying this like it's in my time. But it's also sometimes freeing. Like, man, I have the whole night to myself. I don't have to do anything. I can just chill. Like, I dread going out to places, but once I'm out already, I'm like, man, this is pretty fun. It's kind of like taking a bath or a shower. Like, you don't want to, and then you're in, you're like, oh man, this is amazing. I don't want to get out. Oh, that was a close one. Yeah, the super real ending was clutch. I delayed it too long. It knows what the mobile users want. The only time I use Twitch mobile is to subscribe to the only streamer I subscribe to. Got the salute. In the trenches, metaphorically. I wish all the it is a salute. I always forget that Valentine's Day just exists. The only time I hear about it is like they do the rose thing at the grocery stores, and then they sell roses for like double or triple what they usually go for. It just seems like a scam. That's a mortal sin. This is gonna be a run that I swear that it'll take me a year. People wondering like, where did I go? Did I quit? And it'll just be this. Yeah, you missed out on like 90 hours worth of streams. I assume so. Might be a lurking Wesley or Teargut. I think I streamed in a weird time for most people though. Well, that's why I record locally. With Shadowplay. Oh. That would have been the perfect ending to hit it with all the B-offs right there. Just... I'm trying my best, alright? The launch is rough. I've had that happen. Shadowplay just deciding it's not going to record, or it's going to corrupt the recording. It's fun. That's how my first ever, no, I know you weren't, I'm just self-deprecating. My first ever world record, the first 3 minutes of the recording was corrupted. Or at the first 5 minutes of the 8 minutes of the recording. And no one knew who I was. And so if I said I beat the world record, I don't have a recording, people would have been like, man, this guy's a cheater. So I'm lucky that other half of the run wasn't corrupted. I screen recorded that thing so fast. So the video that's up on my YouTube is a screen recording of the recording. I think Shadowplay had an issue before if you tried to record more than 5 minutes. That's why I don't record more than 5 minutes now. I was recording 8 before and it almost costed me. I wouldn't say that, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just have more time than most other people to do dumb runs like this. It'll only be legendary if it's like lower than 57 seconds. If not, I'll be like meh. I think the most I've done in a row is like 26. But I only ever like really tried to do like long B-Ob chains like once or twice. Most runs never need more than 4 to 5. I think right now the run that requires the most bunny hops is 13. Yeah, Caleb's was 12, and I think UC is 13. Was it 16 or 17? I thought it was 12. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe. I don't know, it's been a while. Let me count in my brain how much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 12. But I'd have to get a check on that. Oh, old route heading home was crazy because you had the bonk B-hops, didn't you? On that one underpass area. Did they bonk? I hated old heading home. I'm so glad we found another strat. We being Meteor and not Wesley, Frosty. It was those bonk B-hops and then the ones where you had to get on the wall weird. I didn't like getting on the wall for the bunny hops. Also, if you missed the first bunny hop, it was just the worst. Did you ever get it? Nice. Is that the 16.43? Old Caleb's was bunny hopping like regular. No, 16.43 was the old Caleb's. That's the one that Tirga did recently. Current Caleb's is 12 seconds? Maybe if you count the Frosty Family Guy video, it's like sub 10. The best world record. Was it 16.8? It's been so long. But if you didn't mean time, current Caleb is using that big boost in the middle. What is the time? And what is the number of bunny hops? I need a memory check. Yeah, I think that's the most that's ever been in a run. For me. I'm sure old heading home. What run is a 16.43? I don't remember which of my runs was a 16.43. But I remember that number for some reason. It might have been Caleb. That's what I was saying. Is that concrete? Yeah, I was just misremembering them. Both 16 seconds. Close enough. Whoa. Thank you. I don't know what my music taste is, but I like certain songs. I love those types of songs that... The ones that I used before, I used them all and I can't use them now. About helium and sneakers and get lifted. I added this song because Tirga sent me a bunch of songs. And he's like, you gotta add some of these. So I added some new G's for him. That's what I try to do. I don't try to use very like popular songs that people have heard before. My goal is to make people find music at the same time that they see a good run. I really love that song. I've used it for multiple runs before, which I don't do very often. There are some songs that like I want to use again, but I know I've used them twice and I can't. Too loud. Wait a second. I assume this is slower, but I want to try it. Yeah, no. I don't know why UC was so easy for me. I hit that like an hour after I learned the strat. Or after I found the strat. Not even learned it. It took me an hour to find the strat and an hour to hit it. I was on something that day. I think it's just because I did a lot of grinding of UC in the past. A lot of those bunny hops just were second nature. I had that muscle memory built up from years past. It was my like oldest run too, which is crazy. Like it'd been 2 years and I went back and that muscle memory just kicked right back in. But yeah, about the playlist thing, that's basically my goal with my YouTube. And I try not to be too crazy with like only using the same genre, even though I kind of do use a lot of Zoomer music. But I try to mix it up every once in a while, try to have experimental type songs. Oldest run is Scenic, so guess what I'm running? Scenic is like 2 years old for me, I think. No, there was a new heading home strat not that long ago. The mag boost strat. That's the one that I used the Dr. Disrespect song on. And then the never seen a 112 in my life. It's this one. 2 quick ones. I already know I'm on the perfect line. I hated that C boost to the zip. I could never get it consistent. Like I would watch your videos, Del Toro, to try to get it. Dumbest? Probably Scenic. It's not my least favorite, but it is the dumbest because of how annoying the strat is. Just because this strat is so RNG. Like, it's technically not RNG, but it is RNG. Just because of, like, human variance and just, like, where you will stand is always different. And that can't be different. Like, you make human mistakes, and there is no room for human error. You need to be a robot to hit this boost. I don't think even Birdman was that complicated. It did take me a while, but it just feels so simple in retrospect. I never considered Birdman like a ridiculously hard strat. I will say I dislike old tunnels now, even though I'm the one that found the strat. Wait, new Birdmans? It's not impossible without a setup. You can wing it. I only did the setup stuff because of it makes it easier for newer players. You can wing it if you know how to do it. I wing it most of the time. I'm terrible with outfits. All of my clothes are from like over 5 years ago at the very least. The only things that I buy are hoodies that I like sometimes. But then I can't wear the hoodies because it's too hot. My style is all hoodies that I think are pretty cool. Add a watch and some cologne. Shoes that match the hoodie. There you go. Those things are expensive. One of my hoodies was like 90 bucks. But it's my comfiest one. On there. I assume you meant on them. I always wear cologne if I'm going out. If I'm at home though, I don't waste it. Cologne's expensive, man. For like 6.8 ounces is like 40 bucks. Maybe 50. 3.4 ounces like 20, 30. Isn't Coquette the Corvette from GTA 5? That's the only reason I know that word. I don't know of any other context. Oh, this song. I love songs I can't understand. I can't hear the despair in their voice and understand it. Oh no. I was about to end the stream. I was literally thinking stream's gonna end pretty soon. Yes. I was like, I'm probably gonna let the song play out, do some runs, and then after this song is ending, whatever song I end on would be the end. I honestly didn't think I'd go this long. It's already been 3 hours. Yeah, right? It's because I think I've been talking like the entire time, which is rare for one of my streams. Mostly because people don't talk that often. Having chatty people in chat makes the stream go by super fast. So I appreciate it. I don't know how to respond to that half the time. I say otherwise, the word otherwise. I just don't see how my voice is anything but standard. But I appreciate it. Hard to explain. Makes sense. I understand that you can't explain it. Still puzzles me though. Really, Del Toro? You're getting in on this? I honestly was on autopilot and I didn't even see the boost. I don't remember what happened. Clip it. Guys, clip it, clip it. Chat, you see that? I forgot I named the stream that. I thought that was a randomized name, like how Giphy Cat has the randomized stuff. This title of the stream was basically meant to say, I don't know how long the stream is go. It could be 15 minutes or it could be 3 hours, who knows. Because I honestly expected to stream for like 15 minutes and then have to go. Because of the dogs, but the dogs have been pretty chill. But I know they're getting antsy, and so that's why I'm getting off soon. A border collie does not like to stay inside for that long. I don't want to wake her up, but I'll tell her hi whenever we go out, whenever she's excited. She's currently sleeping on my bed. The other dog's in a doggy bed. Yeah, that's her name. I can't say it though. It's because she was the runt. And so the people we got her from named her that. We didn't name her. So she is a very tiny border collie in comparison to your average border collie. And she's fully grown. Like I said earlier, my cat's name as a kid was Gato. It's just cat in Spanish. So I think I have everyone beat for unimaginative names. The only dog that I've named, his name was Saki, because he had socks on his feet. I had a cat as a kid. It was an outside cat though, not an inside cat. It was our guard cat that would keep us safe from big dogs. He was chill. You gotta keep them addicted so if they get out they'll always come back. You gotta be your cat's dealer. Love me before I give you drugs. I never had an inside cat, so we could never try it. So I've never seen it in person, only the videos. The only drug I have on hand is caffeine. I think whenever TTS first came out, one of the streamers I was watching, someone donated like the entire backside of this Cialis pill bottle into the TTS, like the whole thing, and he found it so funny as this lady was reading off the 50 Cialis. Not even caffeine, that's impressive. Only the water. Me neither, to be honest. I drink sodas whenever I eat. After that, I just drink water. I didn't say it was lame, just that it's not something I'm addicted to. I think the main reason I just dislike coffee. The taste is just very bad. If I enjoyed coffee, I'd probably drink too much caffeine. Although I probably would be too lazy to actually warm it up in like a coffee maker or something. I would probably just drink cold brew. I don't get addicted to drugs, so I can have money. Classic. I just can't afford to be addicted right now. I need to make room for my other drugs. This song name is always so great. Something like, if God didn't want us to snort worms, why did they make them perfectly the size to go up our nose? I just added it to my playlist just purely for the name. I didn't even know what it sounded like, but I gotta have this on my playlist. That's basically how my mind works. I just assume it doesn't happen. If you always have really low expectations, then you're really happy when you hit it. You just don't expect to hit it. If you do, then you're let down. Every reset does not feel bad to me. I am neutral with every reset. I am happy whenever I hit the run. And thus, my mood has been improved. I'm so glad other people exist. I mean, yeah. I don't know why that made me laugh. It's just quite the statement. But I agree. I agree. Every reset affects you to the core. Yeah, I'm just truly built different. I don't know if it's in a good way though. I feel like you should have some response to losing. I have no like energy drain from it, nor anger from it. I don't understand the people that get angry enough to like throw their controllers and stuff like that. I just get really sad. If something like makes other people angry, it would make me sad. I hope that you're talking about a computer mouse. Gotta specify. Also a marathon? How long's a marathon again? RIP. That sounds painful. I think the only way I've ever broken controllers is as a kid I used to bite the analog sticks. And it wouldn't really break them. It would just make it to where I have to play with no analog sticks. Or not no analogs, but no rubber on it. And so like a lot of my GameCube controllers were destroyed. This is a chill song. Oh, you're talking about your O's? Yeah, I think that's one thing that I never... I mean, I would bite everything. I was a serial biter as a kid. I loved the, you know, the strings on hoodies. I would never bite like the hoodie itself. Like some people would bite the inside of it. I thought that was weird. But I would bite the strings. So all my strings looked really bad. I would make my own gum out of the strings. Yeah, there was nothing left. It was all frayed for me. Now it's someone says it, you know where they learned it from. It's funny every single time. I literally only know of it because of that Phineas and Ferb episode. But yeah, that is what those are called. Pip, I said her name. Oh, she didn't register it in her brain. Okay, she chewed up my shoes whenever she was a puppy. And she tore off all of mine. And so it was a pain because I had to like take them off and put them back on for some reason. And it's the worst. She's gotten less bitey as she's gotten older though. She just bites other dogs now. Specifically one dog. In a playful way. when they're actually talking about it. It makes sense. Don't try to eat the table? Was this table made out of plywood? It was straight wood. You know, like the trim on the edge of the floor and the wall, and how sometimes you have little like wooden boxes on the corner wherever they meet, like accents. Yeah, she ripped off like 5 of those and would chew them up when she was like teething. Yeah, she just completely tore them off. I fear their lifespan have shortened plastically. Me in 50 years with the microplastics. I love day-old water that's been sitting in the sun. In the bottle. I don't know if I've said this on stream yet, but as a kid, you know the Totino's pizzas? Side note, I always thought they were Tostinos, and I have like got Mandela affected, but they're Totinos. But I got it mixed up with the chips Tostitos. But as a kid, I would take those Totino's pizzas, put them on styrofoam plates, and microwave them. And every single time I ate it, it was like I could taste the plastic. There was plastic on the bottom of my pizza, but I just kept doing it. And so I know what burnt plastic tastes like vividly. And it would tear holes through the styrofoam. And I would just eat it. To this day, my best cinnamon roll I've ever had was from school, in the school breakfast. They were gigantic and amazing. Nowadays, when you go and get a cinnamon roll, they're all just frosting. I'm not looking for frosting. I want cinnamon roll with cinnamon all in the middle. That's like gooey. And like when you pull it apart, like cinnamon strings come out. That, I literally want no frosting on top. I just want that. And if you go anywhere like Cinnabon or whatever, it's not how it is. It's literally just all frosting. And it's terrible. They're hot chocolate with last spoon, yeah. But yeah, every single like cinnamon roll place I've been to is really expensive and it's all frosting. And if I wanted frosting, I would just buy a tub of frosting and eat it with a spoon. It doesn't matter. Someone could be pretty from their personality. Such a way with words. It's a mole. That's impressive. I mean, it could be like for the people that are like step on me crowd. There's not money, or not money, not many. You gotta stick together. That is quite the sentence. I mean, I assume that worked pretty well. Yeah, sounds like it. The best ones are where you can say you mutually stab each other. Now that is true love. It's funny how you say stuff like that and you wonder why you get AI auto-modded by Twitch. I have not. But I'm not one of those people that are like superior over it. I've never broken a bone just because I've never done anything that would cause me to break a bone. I played baseball a little bit as a kid, but not much. Only like with friends, not like in a little league or anything. That's like the most extreme thing I've done. That is true. When the robots don't like you, you know that you're doing a good job. Resist the robot uprising. They came out recently and said that there was never an AI auto mod. And said it was all human. But I think they just unbanned everyone and just said like, hey, don't talk about it. That's a bone still. It doesn't count if you break your nose, I think. Unless it's like the bone around your nose cavity. I think the worst injury I've ever had was when I was living in the trailer park. The dumpster, we had one like halfway down and one at the beginning of the trailer park. And so it was about like, I don't know, 2-minute walk away, but I would be the kid that's like, oh, I'm gonna take the trash out super quick, and so I'd run. And there was always glass out there. And I was full sprinting in no shoes with trash. And I stepped on a huge piece of glass. Impressive. It's crazy how trampolines exist and there's not more like injuries that come along with it. Like everyone, if they had a house with like a roof they could get on, they were like, I'm jumping off the roof straight on this trampoline. And everyone else was like, you go for that. I believe in you. No one was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that. And everyone turned out okay for the most part. Even still, there is not enough. I'm not saying that as like kids should get hurt more. I'm saying it as like trampolines are inherently way more dangerous than... Yeah, like backflips on a trampoline were just something that like people learn. Like I've even done a backflip on a trampoline and I wasn't like a very... Like I didn't do sports or anything as a kid. This is the last run. This song is good though. In gymnastic and stuff, there's like mats and stuff though, isn't there? Like if you fell like off a trampoline straight onto like concrete, it's a lot different. Gotta wear some shorts. Half the time our trampoline was on concrete, and the other half it was on just like dirt and grass. Dirt and grass wasn't so bad to fall off on, but the concrete was not good. I can see that. I can see that. Sounds like a good time. Breaking your neck in front of your friends and changing their course of their lives forever. Give them trauma they'll never recover from. That's the spirit. Look at this guy. It's quite the turn. Classic. What is the song to end on? Did we go through my entire playlist? We did. That was perfect timing. That's impressive. And oh hey, lost kid. Okay. There you go. I've sent that in one of my YouTube videos as well, so I usually download all of my music, but this is the only playlist where most of my music is not downloaded. I've seen those trampoline places before, but mostly just for kids. Alright, I'm out of here. I hope everyone has a good night, good rest of their day, whatever it is. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate it. Even if it was only for a little bit. Good night. Sleep well. Thank you.